Hi!
That worked way better than I thought it would.
We are so in sync.
Hi, welcome to episode 10 of Digital Leftovers, the very first ever VIDEOCAST.
10.
Now in Technicolor. that was the dumbest thing you and I have ever come up with. You know what we should do? We should synchronize just an idiot booby drop.
Oh,
just
thanks for giving me the credit for that.
Yeah, the idiot booby drop was all
that
yours.
Was totally.
I pointed
idea.
at you on the screen, not you sitting right next to me. I'm losing my shit.
See, because it looks like I'm pointing at you.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
So like if we're pointing at each other there, it's like we're trying to fight each other, but it's like we're just yelling and screaming at each other.
There's an invisible wall that was like, listen, I'm gonna fuck
like,
your shit up.
Listen, you want a piece of yourself?
I'll give you a piece of me. You
step outside. I'll kick my ass.
Yo head up. My head's going up. Yeah. Anyway, so welcome to episode 10 of Digital Leftovers. I'm sorry to disappoint, but this is just what we look like. This is all you get. I'm Christian.
I'm not. I'm Matt.
You know what? You know what's important, Matt? We think we're funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so it's been a meme 1,000 times, but Digital Leftovers actually has a sponsor this week. We actually had a sponsor at the end of our last episode, but it didn't get cleared until It didn't get cleared until our 10th episode, but it also took us like 2 months to record our 10th episode. So,
absolutely.
No meme, legit, actual sponsor goes out to, actually, I'll just read the card, exactly how he wrote it. This episode of Digital Leftovers podcast is sponsored by Artisanal Woodcrafts, uniquely handcrafted wooden gifts. It's a good thing Tanner doesn't give a fuck if it was a good ad read or not. He just wants his name, the name out there.
He just wants it.
So if you go to Etsy.com and look up Artisanal Woodcrafts, that's A-R...
Pronounced R. You got one syllable right.
I was getting there. A-R-T-I-S-A-N-A-L. Just realized Artisanal has the word anal in it. Woodcrafts, W-O-O-D-C-R-A-F-T-S, to check out handcrafted unique gifts. From my understanding, it's fairly priced. I really don't know what the going market is for handcrafted artisanals, but Tanner makes them, and they're fucking cool. Go check them out. My personal favorite on his website is he's got two. He's got a pipe holder made from a wooden base and then an antler.
That one's my favorite.
It's really because like the pipe rests on the antler, but then he hollowed out the top so you can keep your matches and shit.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Tanner's brilliant. Go check him out. He is our first actual sponsor on the podcast, and we couldn't be more happy.
He's very creative with his products. He does boku amounts of work. We are very proud of him. Proud of him to be our son.
Now that we've jerked Tanner off enough, let's talk about us. So, now I don't know. It's
appropriate that we're basically on
we're literally on the start of a porn set.
See here, Pornhub has the casting couch. We have the casting bed.
We have the Digital Leftovers bed.
Mm-hmm. we have a drop down thing. So when we start getting the action going back here, we just drop it down and it's censored and then
yeah. I'm actually worried about the hand motion that I just made and you made earlier that we might have to blur out because of YouTube rules. But I don't actually know. How about this? We'll put the video up, and if it gets taken down, we'll know.
And we'll just be like, rip. Okay, next time. We'll be more PG, but then again, we'll
literally, like you said, we'll bring the bar down, then do the jerk off motion. What's he doing behind the hand? I don't know. He could be writing a really important essay or
doing his taxes.
He's draining a lemon of all its juice to make some dank lemonade. We have not talked about anything productive. We've done nothing in the realm of productivity.
Isn't that what leftovers are? You just never know what to get.
Listen, here's the thing. So, I like where we have our camera now, but we're going to have to, next time we do a video cast, we're going to have to figure it out because now the audience actually gets to see how much I fucking move around when we record.
Oh, exactly.
But I can't do it. So, so real quick, as you know, we have recorded the first 9 episodes. I saw that, by the way. I recorded the first 9 episodes in my living room, but we are for the first time in Matthew's bedroom, hence...
It's where the action happens. Okay, sleep!
I fucking hate you. But so we're back. It's been, I don't know how long. We were going to look beforehand, but we didn't.
Several months. We've been through a lot. We have a lot of plans set, and Digital Leftovers is
about to take off.
We're really hoping to take off because you have a new job.
Yeah, I got a new job that I actually have a consistent ass schedule where I can like actually spend. Hey, Monday evenings, let's record Digital Leftovers. Tuesday, let's stream. Tuesday, drop it and stream. We're gonna have a stream schedule. We're going to like our own personal stream schedules. We're gonna have hopefully a recording schedule. Actually, that'd be really easy now.
Consistent scheduling
is going to make us go 1,000 miles.
One of the universe's gifts. Welcome to the club, pal.
Yeah, boy. Wait, which club?
The consistency.
Oh,
no?
See, we're on a bed. Anyway.
I'm.
Are we in the sky? It's the Mile High Club.
This isn't virtual reality. What are you talking about?
Speaking of which, definitely. So like, it's right there.
Yeah, if you guys are asking questions, like that is clearly.
Also, I love that like on like right here on the screen, it looks kind of purple, but you look at it, it's clearly a red light.
It's blood red.
Yeah. But no. Tried out a VR headset for the first. I did. Matt went out and bought a HTC Vive. Right?
HTC Vive. That is correct.
Man, it was cool. I only tried Microsoft Paint in it, but
you did like 5-10 minutes of Tilt Brush, which is like Google's Paint software, and I'm just here like, oh man, wait till he gets to try the Rick and Morty game.
I drew like
Super
5
Hot.
dicks.
He drew a lot of penises and then just wrote his name and like bitch, which
it was like
context wise I wasn't able to figure out like what that was for.
I wrote on one wall I wrote Christian was here, turned around 180 and wrote bitch, but Matt read it as bitch Christian was here.
Well, the bitch and Christian was like, it was like you rotated and there was the bitch and then Christian was like completely adjacent to it.
Yep.
And it's like, this ain't a manga. You don't read right to left. This is America.
That may have been a little racist what I just did.
Anyway, first episode we were like Dios mio senpai.
That was literally like the sixth word out of our mouths.
Combined Mexican and Japanese manga culture into one, and it's like, is that really a bad thing? Like we're experimental on Digital Leftovers.
So one thing I'm also worried about is I'm like super self-conscious about now that we have our first camera. I'm worried about how much I'm gonna adjust my nuts during this.
Oh, exactly.
So like if you ever see me stand up and like I just go like slightly out of frame. But like you clearly like maybe you can like see like my shirt or something, which you can't see.
Exactly.
This is my left hand, which you can't quite see what my right hand's doing. Probably just like stretching the scrote, just getting it done.
Within 15 minutes of our 10th episode special, and Christian's already scratching his nuts.
I'm gonna start throwing shit off your bed at some point. Oh, 2 went. Well, fuck. There goes 2 of them. I should unplug the whole laptop.
They're Guinness sandals. They go together. Actually, before I forget,
I love these Guinness sandals, Matt, because there was one time that we were drinking.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hey, Christian, do you have a bottle opener?" And you were wearing these, and so the camera sees it has a bottle opener on it. And you're like, "Oh, you got a bottle opener?" I'm like, "Dude, you're wearing your Guinness flip flops. Like, fuck off." Oh yeah, you're right. You're on the floor.
And I completely forgot that they have a functional bottle opener. Show you, because since we can now do visual gags with the visual podcast, so you can see right there on the fucking strap there. It works. It fucking works. It's amazing.
I can't wait for you to see what just happened when you edit this, but I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Oh my goodness.
Until you edit it. It's going to be great.
I'm terrified.
You're going to see. It's going to be really obvious. You're going to be like, oh motherfucker.
So a lot has happened since our last podcast, which was quite a while ago.
It was too long ago. Keep vamping. I'll find out how long it was.
We started talking about like what we were going to do for the 10th episode, because like at the end of the last podcast, we were hyping it up that we have something really cool upcoming for the 10th episode.
13 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations. We crested 10, and we know 2 of them are us, so like...
Yeah, that is more than
Jesus
enough.
Christ. Digital Leftovers episode 9, titled We're Adults, 2 months ago.
Yep.
It has been 2 months. That is a travesty that we cannot allow to happen anymore. That's why it was
all about E3, and we talked about a lot of stuff that's coming out. And like probably over 50% of that stuff is already out now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it's been 2 months. Okay, so real quick, Matthew, what the fuck are you playing?
What am I playing?
Because I know a lot of the stuff we're playing right now is overlapping, so we have some content to talk about.
Yeah, no, I like that. I know we have our formula and everything.
Also, I really like how my hair looks. Like I usually not like this is okay. So I keep my hair like this is where I like my hair length to be, nice and long, and like it just gets out of hand, and I fucked up.
Very, very flashy.
I just fucking love how long my hair is right now. I'm so happy.
That's kind of why I have the goggles, because like I'm very self-conscious about like the froness of my hair.
You're like episode 1 Naruto right now, and just like believe it. I just started watching Naruto for the first time. Naruto for the first time, so like I'm chock full of Naruto.
You know the first thing that comes to mind when I see you with the hair like that?
I'm so ready.
The dog from The Little Mermaid. Because like his hair covers his eyes as well, and then every now and then his eyes kind of come out with expression and emotion. I always found that to be kind of cool.
I'm a dog. Matt called me a dog. So what are we playing right now?
You are my bitch.
You right.
Female dog.
You right. Hey Matt. So okay. I know I've stopped this like 6 different times before we started this conversation, but Matt, there's a tradition. We must have pulled it, and we talked about it for the podcast, and then we realized in Matt's possession was 1 pop can.
And I was like, tradition, and I'm like, oh shit, I know what he's talking about.
Right. So since we can't both open a can, I will hold the can, and you will open the can.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
This is going to be glorious, because it's 1 can, and it's going to be, it's got to have the combination of 2.
1 can to dweebs.com.
1 can to rule them all.
3, 2, 1. Ah! Welcome to Digital Leftovers.
This podcast has been brought to you by Cherry Coke.
That was a warm ass cherry Coke.
Very.
I knew it was like I knew that it wasn't refrigerated, but like I was like, fuck it, do it for the fucking podcast.
Because yeah, he was telling me like, oh yeah, do you have canned drinks? And I'm like, you know what? I might have some in the fridge. And it's like, I have none in the fridge. Christian has died, so it's the
Matt Show.
So I was at the fridge and I was looking for canned drinks and I couldn't find any. And so then I was like, you know what? I need more soda cans. But we didn't have time. We had to get started on recording. And I was like, hey, look at this. I have a single Cherry Coke in my closet. So it was like, you know what? It's better than nothing. We're just like, fuck it. Let's roll with it. I was just waiting for him to like slowly sneak up. And yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host is a groundhog, or a mole. I guess the better term for it. Hey Christian, to put pressure on you since you're out of frame, what are you playing?
League of Legends! I'm always playing League of Legends!
He is always playing League of Legends.
Yeah, no, so League, obviously, is what I'm playing right now, but I think the game that I'm having the most fun with right now is Daphne and I have been streaming Fallout 4.
You guys have been streaming Fallout 4.
A lot. Like, I think we'll
like
probably
4 days straight, you guys had a really strong stream going.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I think at most, we had like 9 viewers for like an hour, and then like held that for a little bit, and they tapered off as they went. But, so yeah, Fallout 4, playing League, and then, goddamn, I'm having so much fun with PUBG right now.
PUBG is more than a game. It's a fucking phenomenon.
Oh, there's a nut. I did it on frame. I had that whole fucking 2-minute bit about walking out of frame, and I'm just like, I'm gonna sit down.
Guys, we're humans, okay? We have needs, and that involves scratching our nuts. So
my dignity.
PUBG. My preacher. You have my preacher on your nuts.
There's a hair.
That's very contextual.
Long hair. You know, if this were not a video version of this podcast, what you just said with no visual cue would have been way just
contextual. Would have been very, very strange.
I feel like we have a lot of clips from our podcast where, like, if they were taken just a little out of context, it'd be like it's like the Game Grumps, like Danny out of context.
Best, or like the fact that they do best of like every month.
Yeah.
And they take all their best moments from that month.
But PUBG. So you know what I enjoyed about PUBG, other than it's fun and you can have fun with friends. It's a game that you can take super seriously, still have fun, and a game you can play super casually and still have fun.
Because it at the end of the day, you know, it's unlike Overwatch where you have all the various game modes. You know, you have arcade modes, you know, deathmatch and all that, where you're playing to win, but there's not really much of a win. It's just loot boxes are like the main thing that you can get with those wins. But arcade is still just arcade. It's for fun. Quick play, same thing. You just play for quick play. There's item number 5.
Yeah, it was shoe. One of your flip flops got back up here. That one.
So he's throwing my shoes.
They're on your bed. What do you want from me?
So unlike Overwatch, where like you whatever mode you play, that's like your play style. You know, quick play and arcade modes are just for fun, and then ranked is where you take it seriously. PUBG, there's just one mode, and it's your choice whether you want to play just to have fun or if you're playing to be serious. And I find that, you know, if you play to have fun most of the time, you know, you'll still get very far.
Yeah, like what? We had a game where you're a fucking asshole. We had a game last night. There was all 4 of us. It was Ryan, Eric, you, and I.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going, and your mic like legitimately cut out at one point. Like we couldn't hear you, and you couldn't hear us. That was legit. You were
actually some real quick context. The game that we're talking about, PUBG, it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's a 100-person battle royale game where 100 people drop in on a map, and then you're basically going to be the last man standing by the end of it. The higher in ranking you get, the more points you get, and you can use those points to buy boxes so it rolls out whatever outfits you want. So really fun game. It's $30 on Steam. Highly recommend. It's more than a game. It's a fucking phenomenon.
I think I put 70 hours in the first month I've owned it.
Oh, same here. I think I've got 80 hours counting right now. It's amazing how often, because like H1Z1, which is the other one that was had this mode, this 100-person battle royale mode. It was very popular. That I didn't even get like 40 hours in, and then PUBG came out, and it was like I was craving for that kind of game again, and I didn't want to go back to H1 because it was becoming more of a cash grab than a game. But PUBG's not only a game; it's a fucking phenomenon. It's
past everything.
It's past the record for most concurrent players.
It passed Dota.
It passed Dota 2.
Which is the king of Steam.
So it's a fucking awesome game. $30. If you're watching a podcast about video games and movies and all that shit, I'd be amazed if you didn't know what the fuck we were talking about.
Okay, I just had a minor heart attack because a thought went through my head. What if I didn't hit the record button?
No, I didn't hit film.
And let me tell you something. Definitely recording.
And it's appropriate that
I have to check again. Like fuck.
It's appropriate that like the pause button is black and then the record button is red, so if you see the red, it's like the red eye of death or something.
No, you fucked up.
So anyway, while we're on the topic of PUBG, you were talking about a story that I was
Yeah, so now you understand. So 4 of us drop in, Matt, Eric, myself, and Diz, Ryan. And we're going, and at some point Matt has like a lag, and he's talking, but we're getting static, and then like 2 or 3 words, and then nothing. And then we realized in the context of 2 or 3 words every 10 or so seconds, we heard stuff that he was talking about earlier, and like, oh, he can't hear us, and we're getting a delayed version of what he was saying. Okay. So eventually it clicks back in, and Matt's talking clear as crystal. But he can't hear us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, fuck, how are we gonna communication? Like, if playing in a squad is so key in that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So all 4 of us running around, and then I, to like get his attention, just like crouch and just start EQ wiggle, and he's like, "What's going on here? What's with it?" And then Ryan joins in on the fun, and Eric joins in the fun later. But he's out scouting ahead. So Matt can't hear us, but we can hear him, and so we just start fucking with him. Like we just we run around and then just drop bro. Or we like run around, crouch, wiggle, 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 wiggle. We get to a town and we clear it out, and we're like, we should take off. We should just stand. We're fucking with him a couple times. Then we just stand in front of him and just start taking off our clothes. And then like I pull my pistol and I shoot at him a couple times, like miss intentionally, and like crouch up and down to like let him know, like look at me, do what I'm doing. He's like, do you want me to take off my clothes? And I'm just like, yes. So he does it. Then we like dance circles around him, firing. We got really far. We got top 10, didn't we? That game. Literally just fucking with Matt, who couldn't communicate.
At that point, like by the time I cut out, it was like 60 players left, and they just decided, you know, hey, we're gonna kill time. We're in the safe zone. But there's a fucking safe zone that you have to like stay in, or else there's gas that'll
fuck you up.
Just play the fucking game. You know what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, fucking, we were in a city just kind of killing time because we're in the safe zone. There's like 50 people left, and that whole time, everyone is just fucking with me. It's a 4-man squad, and the other 3 are just messing around with me, and I'm just there like, you know, I can't hear them, and they, you know, are doing all these weird things. They're running around me in circles, shooting their guns up in the air, and I'm just so lost the whole time. And surprisingly, like, we actually lasted a long time after that.
Literally took 10th. Wasted almost all of our ammo. I shot out every window with a crossbow, and the first time it happened, he was like, "Shh! Oh shit, bullets! Where are they coming from? What's going on?" And then I, like, reloaded it. It took forever with crossbow. And he was like, Christian.
Oh,
so it goes on, and we get done, and then, like Matt, try a hard reset. He does it, comes back, and then we can hear him. It was fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on, and then it comes to light. They could hear us the whole fucking time! He was being a fucking douche!
I could hear them the whole time.
Fucking hate you.
Hey, whoa!
There's shit to throw on you. I can do it now.
Christian's getting frisky!
Hi, welcome to Digital Leftovers. I'm your one and only host, Christian.
I didn't do anything! I'm innocent, I tell you!
So yeah, that was our last PUBG escapade, and we took 10th, oddly enough. It actually came down to you and me, right? And is that in the bunker down one, or was that the one after that? Where no, it was one after that where you came down.
Yeah.
And I got blown away. Anyway, great fucking game, would recommend. And of course, then you take it seriously, and then like it'll get intense, but then the game will end. You'll be like, man, I should have done this better, and I probably could have survived there. That's the thing, though. Is you and I have had this conversation. How it's a very honest shooter.
It is. It really is. It's early access, but like the gunplay and everything it feels kind of off at times, but it always feels right.
Yeah.
You know, because like those times that you think, you know, I totally could have hit him there, but it's not an arcade shooter.
Mm.
It's not, you know, it's not like it's so obvious that when you hit a target or not. We're talking like, you know, real people with real skin and like no hitboxes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that's just why I call it an honest shooter, because it's like if you don't hit them, like your bullets are gonna whiz past, and it's like
they're gonna hear it. You
have to have more patience when you're shooting at people. You know, when you engage, you have to make sure that, you know, those bullets make contact, or else they're gonna find out where you are, and then they might have more of a drop on you, and then you could be dead.
My buddy Logan, he is in the Army, and he plays PUBG, and he was streaming the other day, and he got a double kill down M16 iron sights from over 100 meters away.
What?
Dude, straight up, they were running across the ridge, and he just dropped them. And I was like, damn. Pause. He goes, yeah, I'm certified with that weapon. He's been trained how to use an actual M16. And I asked him, like, well, then how does it, like, translate? Like, you clearly know how to fire an M16 because you've been trained from the military, and you got that double kill. So, like, he's like, dude, it is almost exactly the same. So that makes me really happy. So that tells me that
the fact that someone who is certified with a weapon and also like military trained is willing to say that a game like PUBG, you know, gets it down to a T.
They did their homework, clearly.
Yeah. So that just gives me hope that like it's going in the right direction of like what kind of game it's trying to be. You know, I call it like, there's all those movies that have, you know, those silent, tense moments of, like, with a sniper or just guns, you know. No Country for Old Men is one.
Yeah.
The Hurt Locker, if anyone knows the sniper scene from The Hurt Locker.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I've had so many moments that are similar to that 10-minute sequence in what I find is one of the best war movies of all time. I fucking love The Hurt Locker.
Sniper scene, is that the one where they're hunkered down and looking at the building?
Yeah, and there's like a building that's like over 500 meters away. Jeremy Renner and the black guy, Anthony Mackie.
And all of them are hunkered down like a hole, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. There's no music or nothing. It's just 10 minutes of them just trading shots at each other. And it's like, there are so many times in PUBG that like I've had moments like that. You know, there was like, I remember it was the first game that we played last night where Ryan had already gone off and he was dead.
Yep.
And it was just Eric, me, and Christian. And out of nowhere, we just hear this pow from a distance, and then we look over, and Eric's down. He's down from a headshot, and he's like, "Oh God, I'm down! Someone get me up!" And then he just gets another shot, and then he is just down and dead. Of course, if it were more real, you know, we couldn't hear him, but then he's still talking like, "Oh man, I took that shot.
It came from over there.
It came from over there or something," and it's like, It was still fucking terrifying.
Yeah, because we heard the pop, we heard the clap. No, the windows were broken. We heard the pop, and we heard the thunk, and we heard Eric go down.
Yeah.
And then as I was on my way to him, like he literally died, and like he took the second bullet in front of me.
He just immediately just dropped.
And so I went full prone to get out of the window. Like that guy could have easily knocked me as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Eric had a better helmet than I. He would have just killed me in one go, but he didn't. Which sucks is then I knew he had seen me because I was at the same place Eric was. We were pinned down. Do you remember? Wait, was that the one when we were on the hill and he was outside, or was that the? That's what it was. It was the one when we were like, oh, let's bunker down in this little building. Hey, I see. Eric called out movement.
Yeah.
And Eric had a sniper rifle, and it was the VSS, the 9mm silence, really good zoomed sniper rifle. And
terrible bullet drop, though.
Terrible bullet drop. But
I'm like one of the only ones in our little crew that actually likes the VSS. And you probably another one.
I got like one of my favorite kills with the VSS. It was we'll get that in a second. Anyway, he's like, oh, I got him. And he took one bullet from a car. KR9, right?
Yep.
And which is a bolt action sniper rifle
like
with
World War I style.
Yeah, and it is a killer. And like we're on top of a hill, and they're on a lower hill away from us. Eric gets 2 dropped, and I'm like, all right, Matt, we need to run and use this hill for cover, and we just bolted. We're just like, see ya. We outran them. Like we definitely had definitely had the foot up on them. And we needed to leave right there. We were fucked. We had to leave all of Eric's loot behind though, which was really unfortunate because he had a lot of shit. That is a crazy fucking game. That it is able to entice, ensue, whatever, just to like make that type of feeling come up of oh fuck. You know, it's always an oh fuck moment with that game. Oh shit. One thing I'm
gonna try to go the rest of this podcast without my glasses.
I believe.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm super. Everything's blurry right now, so like I can see you,
no, you can't.
And I can like make out your face, and I'm just here like I can't figure out. I can't read.
Where am I?
Anything. Where am I? Hey, so let's move on to. I mean, that's really all that we're playing. You're streaming Fallout 4. We're really into PUBG too. PUBG, we both really want to get good at. Last weekend I got a Vive. I got the new HTC Vive virtual reality system, and oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really
just
fucking
playing
fun.
Paint. I enjoyed it.
He just played like a version of MS Paint for it. But there are a lot of games that really include you in the gameplay. There's this one that I probably played for like 3-4 hours yesterday straight. Arizona Sunshine, which basically thinks 7 Days to Die, but in fucking VR.
Oh fuck that!
So it's it plays like it's not really a horror game, and it's not a horror game. But I will admit, if I'm walking down a road and I hear zombie grunting everywhere, and I'm looking around and I don't see anything, and next thing I know, I turn my head and bam, there's something right in front of me. It's pretty fucking terrifying because they designed the zombies pretty fucking scarily, and it's fucking awful. Arizona Sunshine's really going. I also play a little bit of the Rick and Morty virtual reality.
I cannot wait to play that.
That is interesting. There's a line between games and experiences for me, and virtual reality is more of an experience, really. It is tended more for fans of the show, really. It's not really like a game in and out of its own regard, but it's still pretty entertaining. It really grips you into the universe of Rick and Morty, and I don't know, I haven't really played all of it. I tapped into it for maybe like 20-30 minutes, and I feel like I got most of the experience, but I honestly couldn't say. The VR version of Superhot is also pretty fucking rad. If you ever want a game that makes you really feel like you're in the Matrix or John Wick, Superhot VR is one of the really good ones, because that's the game where originally it's a game where time only moves when you move. So if you're standing still, everything is more slower than if you were moving. So you have a lot of the puzzles and everything revolve around that kind of action. And the VR one though is a lot different in that it puts you in the action, and that is probably my favorite one. And that I hope
Super
one
hot.
day that you could try out one day, because holy shit, it's. I thought the Vive would not be worth it because I knew it had already been out for like 7-8 months, and I basically got it because it was $800, but then they price dropped to $600 about a month ago.
It's not bad.
And it's like, yeah, that's basically the price of like an average, game system, or like the latest and greatest in game system. So it's like, fuck
Might
yeah,
as well while it's down.
It's totally worth it. Why not? And also, like, I didn't. Here's something funny. I'm not gonna try to get too preachy here, but I bought it not really for me. I bought it.
That is the best visual gag I've ever done. And you just like, what did you say before this sentence?
I didn't buy it for me.
Before that.
I didn't want to get preachy here. Oh my god. When does a joke...
Matthew let this guy be a preacher on the bed.
You have to explain... Oh god.
Woo! I punched your lamp.
No, you're fine. That thing's been through so much.
Fuck you, lamp.
But the thing is, I bought it not really for me. I bought it essentially for, things like Digital Leftovers, things like, our Guild of Friends and everything, because, wouldn't you rather, like, if you ever wanted to try out VR, to go over to a friend's house who has it, rather than go to Micro Center and play, like, a shitty demo or something?
Or, like, SoPros got one there, which you have to pay, whatever. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree. That's exactly what I would want to do. But it's like you would pay, $10 an hour and then might try out the Vive or whatever, whereas you just drop $600 on it. But, like, imagine how much mileage we're about to get out of this with DL. Like,
exactly.
Like, straight up, we need to buy, I think the game I want to try the most, and you can play it both with the VR headset and without. And I think either way it's going to be fun, is keep talking and nobody explodes.
Keep talking and nobody explodes.
We've been so well done game.
We've been going at it for quite a while about playing it, and it's like, you know what, if we're going to play it, we're going to go all the way. Fuck just playing it on a desktop. I'm going to get a VR headset so we can actually play it. So yeah, no, that's essentially why I got it, because, shit like that is what I feel is going to get the attention of people.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to watch videos, of a brand that has the ability to make videos about virtual reality? Like,
you got to kind of have a mix of, like, when you're producing content. Like, what I've seen with successful content producers is, like, they have to be essentially on the cutting edge. You have to put what's new, what's hot right now. And right now, I mean, VR may not be hot and top dog right now, but it's going to be the newest thing. Whereas we can play old games and new games. Like, episode 9 we talked about shit we want to play, but, like, VR, not something we have. But now we do have the ability to show off the new shit and be on that front line of ingenuity, I guess. Matthew confirmed for Master Yi cosplay.
Just so no one thinks I'm full of shit, I actually have the Vive.
Well,
this is it right here.
No one's ever not said that you're not full of shit.
Not
a concern. If you don't want people to think you're full of, like, if you don't want people to not think, English is a really hard language. What I'm getting at is you're full of shit. Also, it's still plugged in. I didn't think that's weird. So, like, my laptop's plugged in, but, like, the little light telling me it's plugged in isn't coming on. Look at that. See? Yeah, whatever.
Oh, boy.
That's fine. It's still working, so I don't give a shit.
Speed run,
yeah. Okay, we need to do Digital Leftovers on 98% battery and go. Speaking of which, where are we at? We are doing, so well on time.
I've tried without glasses, and I just can't. I have to see, your glorious, blurred, foggy face.
Okay, so we talked about VR, we talked about PUBG, we talked about League. I mean, League is League. I mean, it's ever-changing. World Tournament's coming up. Opening ceremony is in 5 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, League of Legends World Championships on its way. It has, this year they're adding in a new and improved play-in stage.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all the third-place teams essentially got put in. And so there's 9 of them, right? And they will all play, and the first and second... No, hold on. I gotta remember how this works. Anyway, that's right. The first and second will go to the champion, to the main stage.
Right.
And that is, the play-in stage is a
2-round round robin, best of one style, where you play everyone twice, and whoever has the top 2 in the best record move on, and the third person in the group is left in the dust, is left behind. And then you get put into the empty spaces of 4 in the main scene. However, you cannot be placed in a group that already has a team from your region in it. So the only possible way 2 teams from China, or 2 teams from Korea, or 2 teams from North America or Europe can play each other is if they both go all the way to the finals.
Well then.
Yeah, they've got it planned out. So like, as an example, when they did the draw show, there was a couple instances where like, we're pulling for the next group. We're pulling for Group C, and let's say a European team was on there, but then they pulled a second European team for Group C. They would be slotted into the next. They'd go to Group D, and if a European team was there, they'd go back to Group A, etc. You know what I mean? They would be slotted into the next available. I guess slot, best way to put it, next available slot where they weren't going to be competing against someone from their region. I think it's really interesting that that's how they do it. It's like there's no way that North America is going to knock out another North American team until the finals, you know? Which I think is brilliant. I mean, last year we had a Korean versus Korean team, but that was the only Korea versus Korea match we had was best of 5, went to 5 games, World Finals.
Oh, yeah.
It was... it's so good. Also, TSM didn't pull SKT in their group, and I'm so happy. Holy shit.
See, I wish... I gotta do more homework on league teams, because I can't catch any names. The only names I ever know are Team Liquid.
Liquid?
And...
that's about it.
that really is it. Like, I know you're nuts for TSM, and it's like, I just can't name off... It's like here I am looking at the Chiefs preseason roster, and I'm trying to name off players, and I just can't memorize.
So North America, LCS to you recognize Team Liquid. Chiefs roster, you're like, Alex Smith's the quarterback. That's it.
There's Dante Hall, and he was way before 07.
Fucking hate you. Dante Hall,
I can't meme sports. I can't meme sports balls.
We have the one thing. We have Matt's meme kryptonite. Sports.
It really is true. Also, League of Legends. I'm terrible at
I feel like that one will
names.
come though. Like
a bit sometimes. I mean, League of Legends is more for puns. I feel like more.
Yeah, you do play-ons like this. When there's a zillion in the game, this loading screen is taking us a zillion years. That's what
Thanks,
Tanner, if you're watching this, which I hope you are because your sponsorship is here, that's what you sound like every time you make a league pun.
You're just a couple of Cuberts. That's a lot of talk about video games. What are we watching?
Daphne and I are watching Psycho Pass, also Naruto.
Naruto things about Psycho Pass.
Yeah, it's so good. It's brutal. I'll go into deeper about Psycho Pass, but like I know Naruto's an old show, even with Shippuden. Like it's still Naruto was coming out when we were young. I read Naruto in the Shonen Jump comics growing up, but I never watched it. I just never got into it. Just never watched the anime. Here I am, 24 years old, finally fucking starting on Naruto. And there's like 600 episodes in the first go, and in the OG
there really
series.
are. That's why stuff like Dragon Ball or like Dragon Ball Z was always so discouraging. But I was only able to get through one, and that was the original Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid.
Yeah, that was.
There's
good.
like 200. See, this might be proof that I'm full of shit because I'm almost positive there's at least 200 episodes, but it's been at least like 2-3 years since I've actually watched it.
Yeah.
And that was a grind. It was a hell of a grind to get through because shows like that have so many episodes, they're just the filler is so.
I was
out
talking
there.
at my old job. There was 3 dudes that were like hella into Naruto, and one of them told me 1 out of every 6 episodes is a filler, and I'm like. When you have 600 episodes, that's a lot of filler. Like 1 out of every 6,
That's
600.
100 episodes.
That's 100 episodes.
A fucking filler.
So a sixth of the episodes are filler.
glancing at your phone over
Yeah,
there.
I got a text. I got to call my dad in a little bit, but we're good. We can keep going for a little bit.
There was...
Usually if he calls me and then texts me, it might be important, so we might have to do an edit here and be like, and cut. And we're back after talking to Christian's dad.
Oh, well, yeah.
Give me a second, we'll get it. So Psychopaths, what it is, okay, hold on, I gotta nix all the spoilers. So it's utopian future, it's a dystopian future, but it's a utopian future where civilization has moved on to the point where law enforcement officers no longer get to dictate over criminals. What it is you have, I forgot what they call them. You have cops, right, detectives, and then their sidekicks are called latent criminals, which are people that were criminals, but they were deemed good enough to help them fight. They're essentially disposable units. We're going to send you in after the baddies, and if you die, whatever, you were a criminal anyway, and if you succeed, cool, we got the bad guys. But what they do have is every person in the world has what's called a psychopath. Roll credits. And that psychopath essentially reads you and determines what your crime coefficient is, what your likelihood that you're going to commit a crime, or how peaceful and docile you are. Okay?
I'm going to need one of those.
Yeah, right? You and I would be fucked, right? Anxiety, depression, all that shit would cloud that shit right up, and they'd be like, hey, we're not going to kill you, but we are going to send you to, brain rehab. So they get a gun, and so if I'm a detective and I point my gun at you, it reads your crime coefficient, and it goes crime coefficient 19, no force necessary, gun will now lock, and can't I can pull that trigger all day, nothing's gonna, unless you go up and stab somebody, it's not gonna unlock, right?
They got that wasn't closer, it would be in front of my nipple or something.
And then it's crime coefficient whatever. Tase activate, and you shoot them and incapacitate them. Then it's oh shit, their crime coefficient's 600, shoot to kill. And it is the most brutal anime deaths. They are at one point a guy got clipped in the arm and it just went it bubbled out and then blah, and then blew his arm clean off and him with it. And it's very crisply animated.
I could feel the dramatization with the sense nodes in my arm.
You're welcome.
You poke the right sense nodes.
I got you.
Make a service out of that.
It's
ASMR.
ASMR, but with feeling.
But with feelings.
Yo,
I'm not only on the side of facts, but also on the side of feelings.
I think we're on. I think Digital Leftovers is on in front of the cutting edge of ASMR now. You've seen the world's greatest head massage, right?
Oh god.
Yeah, just that, but with brutal anime deaths.
Oh, with arms, yeah.
And then Naruto, but I'm just kind of watching that. That's really not.
Those are really good. Also, perfect timing actually that we're doing this now since it came out recently and it's fresh in our brains. But
season 4 of Bojack Horseman.
Bojack Horseman. We are both very famous Bojack Horseman fans.
Okay.
I have more proof of that because I have the Bojack Horseman pop figure.
Okay, real quick, for edit in post, let's edit this out real quick. I'm gonna call my dad real quick, and it must be important because he never calls me and then texts.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, look, we're back. But yeah, you were saying.
Vapor.
I don't give a shit.
Sorry.
Who gives a fuck? Fuck you. But no, we were talking about Bojack. You got the Bojack Horseman pop figure, and season 4 just dropped a week ago, if that. And there's vape in the screen. That's awesome.
Kind of I came out of a hot box or something.
But yeah, no, season 4 was so good.
Now,
holy shit.
Here's where I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
Season 4 did not really care for it much.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Now, I understand that.
Okay.
I liked it too. Now, this is the surprising part. To me, it felt like a very transitional season.
Yeah, absolutely.
It felt, because the whole build-up, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Skip to this time.
Matt put a time right here.
This
and
right here.
Somewhere in this general
I'm going to map it out. Skip to this point because Bojack spoilers obvious. It's a great show. Fucking watch it.
But we are not dodging spoilers from here on out until this time right here.
This time, please. So anyway, when Bojack finds out he has a potential daughter in season 4, it's that whole season was great, but it felt like that it was focusing a lot more on side stories than just on Bojack's story compared to previous seasons.
Which is what I was thinking was going to happen, and I was totally okay with it. Like, once, I was like, I bet, because my prediction was, based on the trailer, it's like, we're not going to see anything from Bojack for a minute, and I don't think we saw him at all in the first episode.
No, he was there at the end.
Like, we saw him, but he had no dialogue, no real context to what he was doing.
Yeah, and then the second is his first official one, which was pretty... It was interesting that I could have sworn I thought that cabin was going to be like his childhood home.
So did I.
But it was his mom's childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized, like, oh, I can tell already, this season's going to focus a lot on his mom.
And it totally did.
And it really did. Like, by the end, it's especially the episode 11, which is supposed to be the darkest and dreariest point of the series, and it kind of was. But to be fair, I found episode 2 to be more shocking.
Was that the one with the fly that helped him build
Yeah,
shit?
the fly and Bojack. That's the A story, and then the B story was Beatrice's, Bojack's mom as a kid, and her mom losing her son, Crackerjack, to the war. And that's when she started getting mentally unstable. Her husband, who was voiced by Matthew Broderick, by the way.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they carved out a piece of Beatrice's mom's brain so she would be basically immobile.
Oh yeah, because she was like it was like that flashback takes us back to whatever time in history it was, and they were like, hey, your mom, who is a woman, is acting out of line, so we're gonna give her a fucking lobotomy and scramble her frontal lobe just a little bit to make sure she behaves, because this is the whatever time in history that took place in, and that's okay. It was so fucked. It was fucking crazy.
It really truly was. Because like, this is a show about an anthropomorphic horse, and you would think that it's not, you know. I guess Christian is chilling in my computer chair. I'm gonna take over for a little bit. This is it's too seductive. Sorry, ladies. I'm not available. Actually, I kind of am, but you know.
Shut the fuck up. Yes, you are.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Hey, chicka bump up. Caboose.
Okay. Fuck. What was I getting at?
Anthropomorphic horse.
Yeah, it's a show about an anthropomorphic horse, and yet it has these very strong. Misogynistic and even racial and sexual stuff, you know, all these undertones that really strike a chord, especially with today's society, and it's like, it's really showing us one hell of a fucking mirror, and it's that incredible. So, I don't know, it was, but here's why I think it's transitional, in that it was focused on so many stories. You know, there was Bojack reuniting with his mom, who now has very strong dementia.
Like, she's like very deep into her Alzheimer's and dementia. Like, she is essentially past the point of no return, ish. Like, mostly, like throughout the entire season, she is, and then she has a glimmer of, oh yeah, I recognize my son. Like,
she finally remembers Bojack. So that was probably one of the biggest stories. The second biggest story was that Bojack had a potential daughter. This other horse named Hollyhock, who claims that people say she looks like Bojack Horseman. She goes to Hollywood to look for him, and I don't know. It was interesting, but at the same time, like, I was really hoping that any of these stories like had a climax. And granted, some of them did, but not the ones that like I was kind of hoping for. I would say like the ones that had the biggest climaxes were Bojack with his mom, the big episode 11 reveal, and the 12 reveal that Hollyhock is actually Bojack's sister,
which was awesome, by the way,
not his daughter, which was pretty cool.
I'm really glad that it ended up that she was not his daughter. I'm actually really happy that he doesn't have a daughter, that it's his sister.
Yeah,
I think that is brilliant and way more clever. It's the writing. If she would have been his daughter, I would not have had many complaints. It would have felt all right. It would have gone through. But that's just not the type of writing we've come to know and love from this show.
Yeah, a lot of it is very Bojack focused, and a lot of themes that surround Bojack. Mm-hmm. And granted, this is why I still think it's a great, fantastic season. It's because it is very appropriate development for Bojack. Because from the very beginning, you know that he accepts he is poison. He is a very toxic person, and he's just living his life being aware of that fact. Whereas before, he wasn't aware of it as much, but he was still...
like, why are people against me after I fucked them over?
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh, well, I fucked them over, and now... I think it really clicked with him with Princess Carolyn moving on with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then Todd moving on with not living with Bojack and pursuing his career. He goes, okay, these people are happier without me in their lives, and he had to have his heart broken in that aspect to understand they're now happy without me. I'm not okay with that. Transition, character development. I am okay with that. I'm more okay with that. I don't know if he's like fully...
Oh, he's not fully.
But he's...
You know that he and Todd only had one interaction that
literally
entire
one
season?
Literally one! And it was
Todd came over and he's like, you know what, you can crash on my couch if you want. He's like, I'm not really ready to...
Like, we can be friends, but...
I'm not ready to be complete, total
like,
friends.
We can't hang out yet.
I forget the line, but it's really great.
That was the gist of it, though.
It's like, I'm cool with being your friend, but I'm not ready to be your friend or something. But, that was amazing that Todd was Bojack's partner for a lot of this, and then he just kind of goes off.
And the thing is, though, is I feel like it's a really good motif and metaphor, whatever you want to call it, Todd and Bojack's relationship for Stockholm Syndrome. They were clearly not a non-romantic relationship, like, duh. Like,
no, it's just the attachment.
It's the attachment value of it. It's like, Todd thought he needed Bojack to... I don't even think Todd thought he needed Bojack to be happy.
No, that's the irony part.
He was comfortable, you know?
In that situation, you would assume... Screen went dark.
It's fine. Just shuffle it around.
You would think that in that situation, if we're talking about Stockholm Syndrome, that Bojack would be, in a sense, the captor, and then Todd is the captive.
Mm-hmm.
But the irony is that Bojack is the one that I think developed more Stockholm Syndrome, because he's the one who sabotaged Todd's rock opera
to make him stay.
To make him stay. So, like, Bojack was the one really attached to Todd. Todd didn't really need Bojack.
So, okay, let me go a step further with that. I agree with you, and I've never thought of it that way. I agree 100%, actually. But I think it started out as Bojack as the captor.
Yeah.
Because Todd was dependent on him for a place to stay, a roof over his head, and food in his stomach. Mm-hmm. But then as the dynamic and the relationship developed, it shifted. Mm-hmm. And I agree that Bojack was the captee. Todd wasn't really the captor, but he was. He never went out of his way to make sure Bojack was always around, but that's how the relationship developed. Bojack made himself the captee.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's fucking brilliant. I never thought of it that way.
I'm telling you.
It's shit.
That's why it's a great show. And to be fair, I'm definitely psyched for the next season. I just hope that, like, it gets more integrated and goes back to its roots instead of jumping around with all these stories of Mr. Peanut Butter trying to be the governor, Princess Caroline living with her new boyfriend, and
then not
pregnancy,
and
miscarriage.
They were pregnant, and then they weren't. And I honestly, for a second, thought that this was a battery with a screwdriver head sticking out, and I was like, "What the actual fuck?" I'm walking around Matt's room, and here we have a Duracell battery, unofficial sponsor of Digital Leftovers. And it's actually a screwdriver. Like, hey, you fucking with my brain, Matthew.
I tend to do that quite often. I can't help it.
But yeah, no. Okay, so the episode I enjoyed the most, and the episode that I honestly believe in my opinion, might be the. Thank you for balancing the ship. That honestly might be the best episode of BoJack Horseman yet. Is you piece of shit.
You stupid piece of shit.
You stupid piece of shit. There's an episode where Bojack, you hear a lot of Bojack's inner monologue, and it's, for half of it at least, it's drawn in like a very scatterbrained, it gave me a Jackson Pollock vibe almost, right? Of like, you stupid piece of shit, those people are talking about you, and you would like see in the background people like whispering, and like it was Bojack's inner anxiety monologue, constantly calling himself a piece of shit. Yeah. Constantly being like, they're judging you, they hate you, you're the worst, you're dumb, you're not worth anything, kill yourself, no you can't do that. I love Bojack's character development this season.
It was really good. It was like,
stop eating cookies and make a proper breakfast, you piece of shit.
That was amazing because it was a very good depiction of like what people with anxiety, live on a regular basis. And it was good development because like it really shows that Bojack isn't necessarily, evil.
Mm-mm.
He just,
anti-hero as fuck right now, though.
He's to this season, he was way more anti-hero, because, like, previous seasons, at first he does seem kind of like, a tragic, protagonist or something. But
Still
then
rooting for him.
after a while, especially in season 2, when he tries to sleep with his old friend's daughter, who is 17
Was that
years
season 2
old.
or season 3?
That was season 2.
Fuck me.
Yeah, that was season 2's episode 11, and the big fuck you from Charlotte saying, "I will fucking kill you if I ever hear or see you again." And yeah, no, it was like at that point, it was like, yeah, this guy isn't really a good guy. He's definitely a villain now that he's doing this stuff.
Did you hear the creator of the show talk about that scene? It was he said, his intention was Bojack fully intended to sleep with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like fully, like he said, like, oh, it wasn't gonna happen. Like he fully intended to have sex with her, and
why do you think he left the door open?
But he never thought that it was wrong the entire time, and I'm like, that's huge.
Yeah, no, I mean that to me was pretty crystal clear. If you pay attention to that scene when he talks to Charlotte, the mother, and then he goes back to his yacht. He sleeps in a yacht in fucking New Mexico.
Just watch the fucking show. It's 4 seasons, 12 episodes apiece. It follows like the Game of Thrones style, where the second to last episode of the season is the bomb, the big holy shit moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So just that's a spoiler, but it's like not, because you'll figure that out within the first. You'll see it in the first season, then you'll see episode 11 in the second season and go, oh fuck, this is a trend.
So it's really fucking good. So anyway, when he talks to the mom and then he returns to his living quarters, and the daughter who
forgot her name, Beatrice or whatever.
No, Beatrice is his mom.
That's right.
Penny. Penny is the daughter. She's 17 years old, and she wants to sleep with this guy.
She initiates.
She starts by kissing him, and he rejects it, tells her to go to bed. But
like, you're a kid, I'm literally like 50.
Exactly. As he's returning to his bedroom, she's there waiting for him, and she says, "I know what I want." Bojack does the good guy thing at first and says, "Go to bed, Penny." Walks into his room, but doesn't shut the door.
I didn't notice that.
Leaving Penny on the outside, just looking at it. Like
here it is. You can come get it.
Bojack leaves the door open on purpose.
I never noticed that. Nice.
Yep, exactly. It's like that to me was a frame of like Bojack, thinks he means well, but then he does these things that like you can tell that not only set him up for failure, but also indicate that he has more wicked intentions than you would normally think of someone of that, mindset caliber.
So, back to a piece of shit. I honestly believe that was really good, because up until this point, we have heard him say stuff about himself, but it was like in passing, little one-offs. This is an entire episode where almost all of the dialogue from Bojack is his inner monologue. So we're actually finally getting to see what he actually thinks about himself. And of course, we've seen flashbacks to his childhood, how his mom was verbally and mentally abusive towards him. His dad was distant for many reasons that we knew that he was, but this season showed us why he was a distant father figure, and it was brilliant. The whole Henrietta saga, the Henrietta saga fucked me up. Holy shit.
It was very bleak.
But it was so raw and real.
Yeah, very real.
You could see this, like, I would if you told me the content from this show was put into a real life show, it would almost be too dramatic for real life. I feel like the fact that they are anthropomorphic, people, right, helps us to. It does the Christopher Durang thing, where Christopher Durang did absurdist comedy. He took a really big issue, as an example, Babe with the Bathwater is my go-to example. Yep. Duh, because I was in that show. Duh. Babe with the Bathwater by Christopher Durang is a fantastic play. It's an absurdist comedy where this is... I don't actually think this is the first time I've mentioned Christopher Durang on this podcast.
Oh, you've mentioned him several times.
I have the biggest boner for Christopher Durang.
Shit.
No, what? So he takes a touchy subject like alcoholism or spousal abuse or some shit, takes a situation and then blows every detail of it out of proportion to comedic levels. So it's like, haha, we're laughing at this really serious thing, but now we can get really close to it and examine it, because
before it was scary and harsh, but now it's funny and we can actually talk about it. Remember how he said this? Ha ha ha! I beat my wife! Ha ha ha! Ooh, that's actually really fucked up. We should talk about that. That's how Christopher Daring works. I mean, you know, like, duh, you know. You might, but now you do. So I feel like this season was that. Oh, sorry, this whole show is that. If they weren't cartoons, if they weren't anthropomorphic beings, this show would not be possible. I honestly believe what it's accomplished and what it seems like it wants to do, what it's done so far, and what it is currently doing, I 100% believe impossible. It could do some of it. It could not do all of it.
I mean, not to mention, like, the reason why it's a cartoon and the fact that they're animals, you know, calls for way more comic relief. Because if you notice, with each bump and beat and, like, transition in the show, there's always some sort of animal pun going on in the background. Like, oh god, there was one that was like, it was at Mr. Peanut Butter's house, and a stork, is that what it is? A stork? The one that delivers the baby?
Stork.
Yeah, it was a stork, and she's flying over, and she's carrying a carriage with her baby in it. You can hear the baby, like, goo-goo guying, and the stork is carrying the baby over Mr. Peanut Butter's house. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of wordplay to be done with, you know, animals, and so that way, you know, with all the serious stuff that this show talks about, there's always that stuff in the background that's like, you know, gives it that more good-heartedness. I mean, fucking, when Bojack's trying to fire Princess Carolyn in season 3, and they're outside the restaurant, and the dog has the valet key to Bojack's car. Bojack keeps taking the key and throwing it, and the valet dog's like, "Oh, I got it!"
Yeah.
And then every time he comes back, he just grabs it and then throws it away. And so that was like, you know, that kind of brings a lightheartedness to, you know, to the dark storyline that's happening right there, that Bojack is basically trying to sever ties with Princess Carolyn. I don't know, that just all around, it's just such a fucking good show, and there's so much more that we could talk about.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sending a really important message. I'm listening, I'm processing, and everything you're saying is true, but this is like...
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah, Bojack is really fucking good. Season 4 was really good. I really hope that they go more in depth into Bojack, because it definitely wasn't, you know, about Bojack Horseman the entire time. There were a lot of side plots that, granted, were good. It just felt like there were too many of them to make it integrated about everything, which is not a bad thing at all. It just made it very different. It was not the style of Bojack Horseman that I was expecting.
It felt like a good transition. Like, it didn't feel like a forced transition, though.
No, not at all. They really
fluid.
eased into it. There was still, you know, some great moments, and I definitely will rewatch it to pick up stuff that I might have missed the first time around. And yeah, I don't know. Next season should be really good, because
in like a year it should change.
I really hope it doesn't take fucking till September again, because it was like, I feel like that's why it took so long, is because they didn't know where to go from here. Like, hell, for all we know, it could have ended with season 3, with Bojack looking at all the horses and everything. If it didn't have all the cliffhangers and everything.
Yeah,
like,
if there weren't all those
totally
loose ends that season 3 left us with, that could have been the end of the show.
Hey,
okay.
Have I told you my prediction for how the show's going to end?
No, but go ahead, because I have my own.
So, Bojack is in Maine.
Okay.
Okay, that's where Charlotte was. So he went to Maine, definitely without her. He's just there on his own. He's living in Maine. He probably has a beard now. He's a lot more crustier. He's older.
He looks like his dad.
Yeah, essentially. He looks a lot more grown. No one else is in his life. Todd's gone, Caroline, Diane, Peanut Butter, all those people.
Everyone.
They're either still in Hollywood or they're somewhere else and they're gone. And he's just there in Maine. He goes to the grocery store and he's buying something. Maybe he considers buying a thing of alcohol, but then he puts it back. And he goes to the cash register. He checks out with his groceries. And either the cashier or someone walks up to him and goes, "Hey, aren't you the horse from Horsing Around?" Which is a common motif throughout the entire show of people like, "Yes, I'm the horse from Horsing Around," because that was his role back in the day. And so the person goes, "Aren't you the horse from Horsing Around?" You know, the usual setup. But this time Bojack looks at the person and says, "Not anymore."
Oh.
And then roll credits. End of Bojack Horseman. So,
Bojack suicide. Done. Done. That's it. He's either going to, it's literally in my mind, it's going to be that, or he kills himself. I see no gray zone. I see no, we'll get all of our loose ends tied up. I feel like we're going to have a lot of, and this is what the person's doing, like, Todd gets his rock, like, I know this won't happen, but as an example, Todd gets a rock opera off the ground. We don't really see what happens to him, we just know that he accomplishes it. Something like that, something along those lines. And either Bojack offs himself and everyone's life moves on, or Bojack removes his cancer self from everyone's life and everyone's life moves on. I feel like that's the end of the show. Whatever the ending is for Bojack, that's how the show ends. Bojack removing himself completely from everyone and finally living his own life and letting them live their own. This is such a good fucking show! Spoiler timestamp right here. And done.
Perfect.
Damn, it's such a good show. Watch it. Hey, for those of you tuning in that skipped ahead to this point from the spoilers, welcome back and watch Bojack Horseman. Then come back to this episode and watch the spoiler bit. And then at this point, hopefully season 5 will be out. And this will be out of date.
Yeah, we'll be discussing a lot more. God damn, I have such a beer gut right now. It's like pulsating. Noises.
One thing I want to talk about real quick before we cut, because I feel like it's important because it's something we were both doing and we're doing it together, is D&D.
We're doing D&D, yes.
We've been doing D for, I don't know how long this campaign's been running. Of course, we took that 2+ week hiatus because of work.
I'm pretty sure since we started in May.
Yeah, and we're still going.
No, we're still going very...
We're level 5 now. We started level 1, we're level 5.
Which, that surprises me, is how slowly leveling really takes.
It takes a lot.
It really, I guess it depends on like what situations the DM has ready for us, because in D&D you have the players, but then you have the Dungeon Master, who basically is like the narrator and the omnipotent force that directs and controls everything that is not player
He's the god.
controllable. He's the god of the board, whatever campaign you're doing. And I guess, yeah, depending on what situations that they throw at us, really determines, you know, what kind of experience you're going to get coming out of it. I'm liking it so far. I was...
Because this is your first soiree in D&D.
Very first. This is the very first thing I've ever done that's D&D.
Yeah, it's so fun. So, I know we've talked about it before, but recap. Party of 4, Matt, I'll let you tell your character.
My character is Sparwolf, which is a common name that I use on a lot of stuff. Sparwolf is, playing with the heartstrings, flowing, and everything. Sparwolf is my character. He's a human, fighter, and, he's...
Eldritch Knight. Specialization.
He's an Eldritch Knight, which really blew my mind that I could actually do magic. I was thinking, like, I really want to be Ranger, and Eric kept saying, you know, you should totally be a fighter, and it's like, that sounds really boring, though. I want, like, magic or something.
And then you're like, oh shit, at level 3, I totally can.
And then, yeah, when I hit a certain level, it was like, yeah, I could totally pick what kind of subclass of knight I wanted to be, and yeah, being, something that could cast magic was pretty fucking rad. And then, yeah, of course, with that, you know, I have an edgy, tragic backstory, you know, in typical D&D fashion of setting up my purpose for this adventure, why I'm with these other guys, and yeah, it just takes off from there.
So I really like Sparwolf's character development. When he had his, like, big major character shift with Lily, as an example...
Yeah, there was a moment in the story where we went to this, we were on a beach and we got trapped by this dragon cult, essentially, and we could not...
My former dragon cult.
The cult that his character is a dragonborn, was a part of, and we got captured.
You're right, we got captured, Matt. We got fucked.
We really did get fucked.
We were not ready for that fight.
That was a fight that apparently we totally could have gotten away from.
But we were just not prepared. We didn't play it right.
Yeah, exactly. So we get captured and we're in this church place. Was it a chapel or something?
Essentially, it was an altar. It was
an
altar.
Yeah, and an altar for this cult. And this NPC that we had with us, really badass guy named Mel. And
Bursk.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Mel Bursk. And he dies. He gets sacrificed, essentially.
Just stripped of all his armor and just, like, knife here and then just chest cavity just clawed open. It was brutal.
It was very, very graphic.
He had a daughter.
The whole time, he has a 9-year-old daughter just there watching this, and we're there watching it too.
And we try, we can't get out. I know you and I were everyone tried to get out to save him, but I know you and I were the ones that kept trying. Even though we knew we couldn't make that saving throw, we kept trying.
Yep.
And she was there, right? Lily was there.
Oh yeah, she was there,
now,
chained up and everything.
Quick backstory, real quick. In Matt's backstory, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it a huge disservice, but I'm just going to give the TLDR version. Long story short, Matt was in the military in his younger days. Left the military. Him and his wife settled down. Had a farm. Had a daughter named Soraya. I love the name. I can never remember it. It's in my book, but I can never remember it.
Soraya was one of my favorite Ocarina of Time characters.
Great name for a D&D character.
Exactly, and just a very beautiful name. And it's like I had to do it.
So they had money. This organization, mob-esque organization called the Devil's Lance came through.
We had to take a loan out from this, at the time, just felt like a loan shark gang.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only way that we could get enough money with the right amount of interest to get our farm going. And with that money, we were able to get the farm started, but then this disease...
A plague hit
this blight, is what I call it. The blight came and took our crops. And because of that, we lost all of our money. And we could not pay back the loan in time, and with that, I had to pay a debt. And that debt involved the gang coming to my farm.
Destroying everything.
Killing
your wife.
My wife was already dead. My
she died from sickness with the blight, right?
Yes, from sickness before...
the blight hit.
Like, literally months, like 2 or 3 months after Soraya was born, my character's wife died.
Died, right? Like, it was pretty unexpected, right?
Very, almost like man-made proportions, is what Eric tells me. And apparently the blight was also a man-made concoction.
Oh, so someone fucking Wrathgated you, like from WoW when they threw all the poison at the Wrathgate. That was you.
The story goes that illness just takes my wife, but I had no idea what caused it. And then at the same time, I had this daughter who was 3 months old. I raised her for 10 years.
Because she was young, but she was
she was months old. She was months old when my wife died.
So she's 10, approximately.
And then she's 10 years old. We still have this farm. It's going strong. And we're running out of money, so I had to take a loan out. And at the exact same time, this disease killed off all my crops. So I and my daughter, we're out of money. We don't have any farm anymore. And this gang comes, and to pay a debt, the leader of this gang drowns my daughter in front of my eyes, looking at me and smiling at me the whole time. And that's essentially where my story takes off, is that they let me live. They destroy my farm. They burn everything to the ground, and I'm left with nothing. And I take off on my own adventure, and that's when I end up in Clearhaven, the city that we have as our base of operations.
The other two characters that aren't Matt and I in our squad are Aaron Dawnpiercer, played by my wife Daphne, a half-elf ranger who has, I don't know if it's a lore-based thing or what, but she has disemboweled magic, and instead has, then right now she's helping raise an animal companion. That's another whole story.
Right.
She's a ranger, which is one of the two classes my wife loves to play. Those are her two favorites. And she's a badass. I love Aaron. She's just like, oh, hey, those guys are fighting up there, and there's a straggler. Hold on. Got him. Just like Christian is obviously sexually attracted to his wife, but Rogar is has a weird dragon boner towards Aaron. Legit. I haven't talked to Daphne or Eric about it, but he's got the hots. He's slightly got the hots for Aaron, but his sense of duty and purpose is way overweighing that. So even if there was a chance with that, it just doesn't. It's Rogar's I do not have the time. You're great. I love you as a companion of battle, but he doesn't love her. He just I feel like he loves her as a companion of battle, and that kind of seeped into his emotional feelings. But he knows, no matter even if he meets someone else that he falls in love with, he does not have the fucking time right now. Anyway, so Rogar. Oh yeah. So the other character is Grug, played by Steven, the half-orc barbarian, who, next level 6, he's going to take his first point in Shaman.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's gonna multi-class at level 6.
Oh.
Because he wanted to get his level 5 perks for being a barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
which is like he gets a shit ton of stuff. Everyone gets a shit ton of stuff at level 5.
Yep.
And then he'll start his shamanistic shit, and hopefully he gets level 6 before this mega horde comes through, so we can have some extra magic. Because we've got half of the party can use magic. It's you and me.
Yeah.
And I play Rogar the Red. Which, fun enough, I've never introduced myself as Rogar the Red. That's just my name in our Facebook group. I think eventually I want to call I will introduce myself like that, but I'm a red dragonborn who came from the dragon cult that Mel eventually got murked to, and I escaped, and now I'm fighting for good. It's an evil clan, my old clan, but I didn't like it. It was terrible. It made me sick, and I ran away, and now I'm fighting for good. Killed my fucking brother. That was fun.
That I can understand if all of this like out of context seems very confusing. We just want to stress that this story has gone on quite a bit. We've had so much shit happen, and we just kind of we can't really rank like what's best and what was the worst experience. Like it all just
we can absolutely say what the worst experience was.
Losing Mel.
Mel
dying
and
was
not
very
worse.
tragic.
Not worse. Like, oh, that was a really shitty session. Fuck you, Eric, who's our DM. It was like the heartbreak, the lowest point all of our characters have been to.
That was
so
a very Game of Thronesy moment for us. Was having this NPC who we played with for like 2-3 sessions, and it's like, you know what, this guy could totally roll with us.
He didn't want to come originally. We convinced him to come with us too.
Yep.
That's the shittiest part. Is if we would have gone, one of us might have died, or some random person that they had stolen before might have been sacrificed. But we convinced Mel to fight for his daughter's future. Essentially, is how we. Fuck, I was the one that convinced him, wasn't I? It was you. Was it you or me? It was you.
It was you.
It was me. I knew it was one of us. It wasn't Grug. Obviously, it wasn't Grug. And
Grug sucks at diplomacy.
Grug, as he should. Where I'm a paladin, that's kind of my thing. So like, I think I was the one that convinced him to come with us. It was a combination of like your tragic backstory and my diplomacy that was like, Mel decided to put on his mantle and go fight and eventually die for the cause. Whoa, it hurt. It hurt, dude. It was bad. I think the fight to get out of there that we had was so fueled by Mel's death. It was amazing. Oh,
and the fact that at the same time, you know, after we get captured, we lose Mel, and we're in our dungeon. I got the means to help us escape.
You had a key up your ass. Don't shit. I'm gonna shit the key. He's coming back. Don't shit the key.
So
the quote book.
Basically, I pulled a Pulp Fiction with our escape from this dungeon. That in my meal that they had passed out, turns out one of the cultists was undercover. One of my allies, apparently. I still don't know what this guy is to me. But he was someone who was going to help me out. And he gives me this key, which is in like my porridge or something. And the only place I could hide it, since I was completely armorless and everything, I had no means of hiding this except for putting it up my asshole.
And you did.
So I took that key and I shoved it up my bumhole for the good of the group. And, but it was worth it. It was fucking worth it because we were able to escape, and I was able to adopt Lily. Lily, Mel's daughter, who was also held captive. We were able to rescue her, and we got her out of the altar and took her back home, and she basically becomes my surrogate daughter, which I found to be very fun because that was kind of what I was hoping for.
Kind of like a Last of Us type of gig, right?
Very, very Last of Us-y, because, yeah, with the whole losing my actual daughter... when I'm so young and she was only 10 years old, it was very, I don't know, it was a very good backstory that I enjoyed writing, and I'm glad that like my story that Eric's able to set me up for it, set up me for, is, you know, connecting to that backstory. So I'm really excited for where that's gonna go.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I really like where you went with Sparwolf, because like there was a point where it was like the character you before your like big shift into this less crotchety old man. Like, but when you were crotchety old man, it was working and it was playing well. But right when you shifted, I was like, if this goes on for 2 more sessions without any character development, like in my mind, in my pace, and like in pacing, I was like, it's gonna get stale.
Yeah.
Right. But then
right as I thought, man, it's still good now. One more will be good. Anything past that might get stale. You were like, shikaboo! Character development. I'm not you're still a crotchety old man, but I'm not as crotchety, and I'm also way cooler now.
Now, what moment was that?
Censor that pelvic thrust, please. Just a picture of Wolf Job. Just Wolf Job.
We're 10 episodes in podcast. What do you think that they're gonna give a crap about pelvic thrusting?
You just watch. We're gonna be 7 views in, and they're gonna be like, boop, flag for inappropriate content, and it will be like, fuck.
Yeah.
But no, the moment for me was about the time where you got your magic. You came down and you were like so strung out from the magic episode that happened the night before that like once you came to and like actually came to your senses from that, it was a different Sparwolf. Like you understood the bigger picture. Or like it felt like I knew you, Matt, understood the bigger picture, but character knowledge versus player knowledge, obviously. But after that, Sparwolf kind of saw the bigger picture of everything, and it wasn't just about him self-loathing. It became, actually channeling that self-loathing. That's about the time we decided to go after the Devil Lance, like we just did. And where it wasn't just you were still one-track mind up until now, but it felt renewed. And the fact that you had this new magic power, like something clicked that you're like, it's more than just this. I have friends that are actively trying to help me in my cause. It's not just me taking on the entire Devil Lance organization. Which, let's be honest, if you went off on your own at any point, like let's just Sparrow as a character, not just you Sparrow in this campaign, if you would have gone off at any point, you would have fucking died. You would have been fucked. But then you're like, oh, hi, my name's Rogar, and you have 2 HP. Good, there's 25 health more. You're fucking welcome. Good night. Like,
I wish that was all in frame. I just kind of see like your chest just kind of expand. What? This isn't Fate of the Furious? What are you talking about?
This is my haka. I think the last Fast and Furious movie I saw was like one of them. I don't remember.
The latest one is actually really good.
710.
There was a scene with The Rock that like when you first meet him, you know how he's like a hardcore like FBI agent. He's like really metal and everything. So like that's what it is. Like they give coordinates to like where he is, and like he's standing there close up on his camera, and he's like, I want you troops to go out there, and I want you to kick ass and do what you do best, and we come home for beers and everything. Being all hardcore, not like he's talking to soldiers. But then the camera pans out, he's talking to a girls' soccer team.
That's amazing.
Like
I'm so happy.
So many movies have done that, but the fact that it's The Rock and it's a Fast and Furious movie, like, made it that much more tolerable. Like, I know most people think that they are a cash grab at this point, and they kind of are, but I don't know. It was pretty good. But
damn.
D&D is we've got some big shit coming up for D&D, which we'll definitely talk about later.
I'm going to discuss with the group if they're cool with me recording when I start DMing.
Yeah.
Maybe not until if they're saying maybe a thing on my channel.
We could totally stream our sessions. I was thinking about that for yesterday. If we were going to do a D&D session, that I would stream the Roll20 site and all that on my Twitch stream. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, I think we should absolutely stream it or like record it and like cut out some like quiet moments where like someone's looking through a book or something, like maybe lightly edit it. We don't need sound effects and shit like Godfall fucking does. Godfall is so heavy.
Book or something.
Who reads books? Nerds. I told my mom, we were talking about D&D because my siblings would start playing, and I told her, I'm like, listen, Mom, out of all the things I could have become addicted to in my life, you should thank your lucky stars that it was rolling dice and reading books. Like, out of all the things I could be like putting in my body, I decided to put fantasy roleplay. Like, fucking, I literally, like, I love this shit. Like, I have it tattooed on my body because this shit is so intense for me. Like, it's
what does it say again?
Roll together.
That's right, roll together.
And then I got my leg piece for hockey, so. Which I'm going to add to. I think I finally know. I'm going to patchwork some Bruin stuff in here. Like, as an example, tangent for Christian, we have this player named David Pasternak, and everyone calls him Pasta. So I want to, and his number's 88, and I want to get a bowl of pasta with the number 88 on the bowl. Because I can.
Oh,
and we just signed him to a 6-year contract, so like,
aha.
And then I've got other ideas as well, but I just, they would all, and I just, okay, so like, I know the camera can't see, but like right here, at like the top underneath the knee, where the nose is, That fucking sucked. That was, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do a wide shot of this.
That was like right of your tendons.
Oh Jesus! So I've got my battle bear, which is a brown bear, a Bruin,
Right
if
here.
you will, holding a hockey stick in one hand.
Hockey stick.
And on his shield is the 8-spoked bee, which is the Bruins logo. And
Bruins!
Bruins! He's roaring ferociously, and I love it.
Ferociously!
And like I was pointing out to Matt, right here up the nose, right underneath where my knee bends.
Yeah, like right up there.
Yeah, fucking hurt.
Or like if I karate chopped you,
I would go down.
Your leg would just buckle.
I'd be done. KO, like, finish you. Rip out my spine.
That was probably my favorite part of karate when I was younger was pressure points. Your shoes stink.
Yeah, dude,
like,
my
shoes. Can I just be real?
Yo, no. So I've always had stinky feet like my whole life, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think after like most of my puberty was done, that's when it stopped. For some reason, these shoes stink so badly, and my feet, because I've been wearing them all day, are gonna reek. So I'm literally gonna have to, like, I took a shower already today. I'm just gonna go into the tub and wash my feet, because I'll take these socks off, and you can smell it. You can smell my feet right now, because I can smell it. Ooh. Luckily, this is not one of those futuristic, high-tech scratch and sniff podcasts. This is just a normal, regular
I say,
video
your
pod-
feet stink. Scratch number B22.
Do you remember that was the Wild Thornberry movie? That
Yep.
Wow, talk about it. Okay,
That was...
out of all of the people in the world that we could have met in our time here to become friends with, go through all the shit that we've gone through, and somewhere along the way we both watched the Wild Thornberrys movie in theaters with the scratch and sniff thing that we got from fucking Burger King, and then we decided to make a podcast together, and then somewhere within that podcast we had a train of thoughts that got us to the point where we were talking about the Wild fucking Thornberrys movie. It had to be you and me.
Scratch and sniff. I was looking at your phone and I was thinking like your angel blade was gonna crush it or something.
Just I'd like flex and just break my phone.
I'm gonna fall and flex at the same time and then bounce back up. I love Thundercats.
Fuck you. That's Matt's meme.
Okay, wait, hang on. I gotta make you feel like a badass that I need to fall off.
Ready?
Go ahead.
I hate you.
Oh no! I'm going down. I'm hitting the floor now. I'm on the floor now. I can be seen. I'm being hidden. You can't see me.
Listen, I can't see him. And
I'm Bruce Willis in 12 Monkeys.
Matt is the VR device.
I'm
Matt, become one with your VR headset.
I'm Vegeta or System Shock.
Fuck off.
Something with the one regular eye and one glowing eye.
God damn. Well, I don't know. We got anything else we want to talk about? I mean, we're coming about the time.
We've gone
hour and a half.
A hell of a lot of tangents, and we talked about a lot of shit.
It's literally almost an hour and a half right there. Like that's right where we wanted. Like
We've
that's where we wanted to be.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to cut maybe 10. Like I don't know, not even.
It was like 5
minutes.
if like at most from that, and that's fine.
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. I feel like we had a good podcast. Hey, one thing we didn't do,
good.
we didn't meme ourselves, like we always do, which is good for us. Second of all, we never self-plugged. Do you want to self-plug before we're out of here?
Yeah, before we take off.
Anyway, so follow us, Digital Leftovers, on Twitter. We are at 2 bros, the number 2 bros, number 1 mic, 2 bros, 1 mic. That is Digital Leftovers. And then I'm assuming right in front of Matt's face is that. Now right about here is Matt's Twitter user handle, which is...
at EkoGrande. That is EkoGrande.
And then Matt's Twitch.
That is twitch.tv/EkoGrande TV.
And right here, Wolf Job. Okay, so Matt, will you position on me, please?
Okay, so here is going to be Christian's Twitter.
That is at AceAvery, capital A-C-E, capital A-V-E-R-Y, and the number 1.
AceAvery 1. Ha ha. And then we're going to go down here to your Twitch.
My Twitch is twitch.tv/AceAvery, same spelling, lowercase, 93. That's A-C-E-A-V-E-R-Y, 93. And then... Wolf Job.
So remember how we were starting that this was like the start of a porn video?
Yeah.
Like
that's exactly what it was. You
all right.
You want to get out of here?
So yeah, we're gonna get frisky, and we'll see you.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time.